welcome to BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. It is match week 7 and you join us here in the East Midlands as Loughborough students host Leeds Beckett. Both of these teams at the wrong end of the table from their perspective. They're tied on 11 points, so a win would get them back into the mix from that group of 6 at the top of the table who are looking like they're going to break away. We are counting down to kick off. Loughborough students against Leeds Beckett here. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. It doesn't seem too long ago since we were here at Loughborough University on the 4G pitch. This man featured during the match. It was a bit of a mixed night for you that evening, a great win for the team, but you left the field with a knee injury. James Gallagher, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And how are you getting on in terms of the knee?
It's improving steadily. Obviously a bit frustrating, but it's not, as knee injuries go, it's not too bad. It's not disastrous.
Well, fingers crossed you'll be back before Christmas. Okay, let's talk about this evening. Last season, 2 absolute thrillers between these two teams. It's been mixed results for the two of you, but lots of positives. What are your thoughts on this evening?
As you say, lots of positives, but it's been mixed start. But as a club, actually, we've won our last 6 games here on the rubber crumb. So from top all the way down to the bottom. So we're excited about getting back out here again. We've had a lot of away games to start the season. So to be back out here playing our expansive rugby should be exciting.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You've been on the wrong side of a few results, but you're actually undefeated at home. We were at the other end of campus for that great draw against Exeter, where you were involved in the penalty try, among other things. And of course, here against Nottingham Trent, when you're on this 4G, you look a different side.
Yeah, I mean, we train on it week in, week out, and it's not a luxury everyone has. And it can sometimes shock teams, the speed that it really does add. Like, even I feel quick playing on this pitch, and the problem is everyone else does. But the game is just exciting to play on and to watch when you play here.
Well, let's take a look at the league table then. At the moment, Bath sit at the top of the tree on 22 points. Then there's that group of 5 behind them, so close. Then you've got Loughborough students, you've got Nottingham Trent, who've actually going to jump up a few places after a great victory against Cardiff today, and Leeds Beckett as well. They're 2 teams, particularly Loughborough and Leeds Beckett, that you don't expect to see down there.
No, they're not, but I think they're also 2 teams that have shown elements of class in the start of the season, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see both of them moving up the table. Everyone's beating everyone at the moment, so it's a long season and it could all change by the end.
Well, 1 of 4 matches this evening has already finished. Nottingham Trent, of course, they were put to the sword here at Loughborough a couple of weeks ago, but they've responded with a bonus point victory over Cardiff University at home, 38-19. Bath versus Cardiff met, and Harbury versus Durham kicked off at 6:30. And of course, Team Northumbria versus Exeter. Surprise everyone, it's 2 live matches this week, so join us for that one on Friday. But let's concentrate on this one here. We've been looking at Leeds Beckett warm up behind us. They have got some big old boys. It's going to be a tough old ask if it gets physical for Loughborough tonight.
I agree, they have got some massive lads, ominously so, but as we've said, this pitch is a pitch you can definitely move them around on. It'll be interesting to see how they cope with that throughout the game, especially in that last 20 minutes when we started to pull away from Nottingham Trent. We might be able to do the same here today.
Well, those are the thoughts of James Gallagher. He's going to be joining us in the co-commentary position. But of course, we must say thank you to Yoti for their continued support. We couldn't have these live broadcast matches without them. So thank you, Yoti, and take a look at this to find out what they're all about.
It was so much easier because I had already set up on the app about 3 months ago actually when it first came to the island.
I really like how simple it was to use.
It's the kind of convenience we want in this modern age that we live in.
Like, you don't really want to carry your passport around all night now, you're always going to have a phone on you.
The convenience to be able to go up and get my phone and just scan a thing.
It's just easier, you have all your stuff in one place.
And it makes life a lot easier when you're trying to prove your age, and it's quite versatile as well.
Thanks once again to Yoti, a fantastic organisation, and we really, well, not only appreciate but need their support. Thank you, Yoti. So, Gally, back to the action. We're counting down to kick off. One of the things that struck me with every team is the importance of the coaches and the relationship that the players have with them. They're all pretty young. It almost seems like a friendship, but of course there's the line drawn. Tell us a little bit about the coaching setup at Loughborough.
Well, you've got Nathan, the forwards coach, who obviously I work closely with. He's new to the programme this year. almost a bit scary in the first couple of weeks, to be honest. But he's grown into the role brilliantly, working on the set piece that we've seen us dominate in some games and not so much in others. But he's brilliant. Then you've got G, who's been here a couple of years, stepped up into head coaching role excellently. We've been joined by Fordy now, Jacob Ford, excellent young coach coming up. I expect you'll see him move on to much greater things than Loughborough in many years to come. But his know-how and knowledge of the game is brilliant, and the analysis that those guys do really helps us.
Greater things than BUCS Super Rugby? Absolutely not. Well, speaking of G, Gerard Mullen, we caught up with him before the match, and also Leeds Beckett's Kerry Wood. Well, Kerry, great to have you back on the big screen with Beckett. The league doesn't look particularly good for you at the moment, but you're playing a lot better than that position, says to the rest of the world.
Well, it's tough, isn't it? It's early part of the season, isn't it? We're probably a little bit inconsistent out from our camp, but we're picking up wins, and we're on 11 points with 3 other teams. We've got a game in hand, so it's important we get a win tonight. That's what we come for.
Also, you must have forgotten what it's like to play at home. You spent so much time on the road.
Yeah, well, our first 7 fixtures, 5 of them are away, but equally going into the business part of the season, we've got some home games after that, so happy days,
Looking at the team tonight, you've got your captain, your scrum halfback after that suspension.
Yeah, he's been chomping at the bits and worked hard off the field, and he's got a couple of sunbeds in to make himself look good for tonight. So so he's raring to go.
Well, it must be great to have those boys back. A couple of changes in the back row, though. You're pretty consistent with that tight 5, a strong tight 5, but a couple of new flankers in tonight.
Yeah. Well, Hayden Thompson-Green, he's performed well, especially last year, and he's a second year, so he needs an opportunity. With Gully at 7, he's a first year this year. He spent a bit of time out in Australia last year. A very physical player, and he's trained really well and deserves his opportunity. So I'm looking forward to see how he goes, especially.
But looking at the bench as well, a lot of familiar faces. There's strength in depth in this squad.
Yeah, there is strength in depth, and we had a few injuries of late, and no excuses. In other games we've been beaten well, and we've got players coming back now, so we're in a good space at the minute. So hopefully we can put the W in tonight.
For the people who only tend to watch the live matches, they'll have seen you win away at Hartpury. They'll be looking at the league table and wondering what on earth's going on. Oh, you've nearly won one there.
That's right.
Not aiming hard enough from the practice grounds. So what is going on? Why aren't you getting over the line as much as you'd like to? Not necessarily in terms of the tries, but in terms of the results.
It's $1 million question for us, you know what I mean? Can I answer that now? Probably not. I'd say we understand as a group, coaching-wise and playing-wise, that we're a little bit inconsistent at the minute, and we've done a few things in the last couple of weeks with a week off to rectify that and making sure that we pick up that consistency, and that's our key focus for tonight, being consistent.
In terms of the opposition, Loughborough, they're in a similar position to yourself. Some great performances, but not the results they want. What are your thoughts on them as an opposition?
Oh, it's a fantastic outfit, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a rugby program that is one of the best in the country. You know what I mean? And they're probably maybe at a transitional period at the minute. But like in the last few weeks, they've picked up some good wins, and it's quite hard. It must be quite hard to manage 2 teams. But we're just going to come down and give our best shot and go for the win. That's where we're at.
Cheers, Kerry. Go well tonight.
Thank you, buddy. Cheers, mate.
Jared, back here on the 4G. We were here a couple of weeks ago. It was a great win against Trent. Your boys like playing on this surface.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been we always go well here. It's been a bit of a fortress for us. So, we need a big performance tonight. I felt we let ourselves down against Durham, after a great performance against Trent. So that was disappointing, and hopefully we can bounce back tonight.
You're on 11 points alongside this opposition tonight, Beckett. There's a group of 6 ahead of you. Would you say it's more important to get a win today than perhaps other weeks?
Yeah, definitely. No, we need a win. We know that. We've had a lot of tough conversations and a lot of chats. So for me, it's all about actions tonight. Though the boys need to show what they can do. We need to start fast tonight.
Looking at the starting 15, a lot of consistency in the back line. Taj Atta's come in on the wing, but more changes in the pack. Is that lads coming down from National 1, or are you just shuffling the pack again?
No, it's not really boys coming back. It's just a few boys coming back from injury. I mean, Sam Ripper-Smith's come back in the last few weeks. He's very big for us. Good to see Max Hill back as well. So, just some boys come back from injury. I'm really excited to see them play tonight.
You've had a bit of time off, both from BUCS and the National League as well, but last time you turned out in National 1, it was a fantastic win against Birmingham Moseley. When you go well on a Saturday, does that breed confidence in the Wednesday team as well? Yeah,
definitely. We've changed our training week now, so we train together a lot of the time, and it's a lot of competition, but there definitely is a great feel amongst the squad when we do get a win on a Saturday, and we can use that momentum to build into Wednesdays for sure.
And it's difficult to tell under these floodlights, but is that a bit of a moustache on your top lip there?
No, it is, yeah, obviously, being November and that, but yeah, I've got a bit of jit from the lads, I think a bit of a ginger twang coming through, but yeah, no, all for a good cause.
Well, finally, let's have a bit of a chat about the opposition then. They're tough and strong when they get going. You're both at the wrong ends of the table from your perspective and theirs. What are your thoughts on them as an opponent this evening?
Yeah, I think both teams are obviously targeting this as a big game. Look, last year Leeds did a double on us, so we want to put one straight tonight on them. I think they're a good side up front. They'll test us a set piece. We will look to keep the ball in the park and play with a lot of tempo, get them moving around to hopefully create some line breaks.
Well, good luck tonight. Go well.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Counting down to kick-off, Loughborough students against Leeds Beckett. The thoughts there of Kerry Wood and of course Jared Mullen. Let's have a look at the starting 15s then. Jared Leet was man of the match when Loughborough hosted Trent a couple of weeks ago. He's joined by Harrison King and Sam Grahamslaw in the front row. Archie McPherson moves from the back row to the second row. He's alongside Sam Bailey, Max Hill, Sam Ripper-Smith, the vice-captain, and Ollie Kilgallen are at 6, 7, 8. Will Findlay captains the side from 9. Josh Lewis is outside him at 10. Aaron Tate on the one wing, Taju Atta on the other. James Davis and Fergus Geary in the centres. And James Spencer is at 15. The opponents arrive today with Ryan Everly, Conrad Kane, Xavier Valentine, John Okafor and Adrian Wadden in an unchanged tight 5. Changed in the back row though, as Hayden Thompson-Green and James Gulliver come in at 6 and 7, with the ever-present Johnny Teague at 8. Connor Lloyd captains the team from 9. Stefan James, the club captain, is outside him at 10. Harry Robinson, 11. The centre partnership of Harry Collier and Tom Williams at 12 and 13. Chester Duff comes back into the team on the right wing, and Charlie Venables is at fullback. Plenty of power on both benches. Jamie Harding, Sam Garvey, Osman Demon, Dan Cuthbert, Austin Wallace, Tom Walsh, Alexander Cruz and Sam Roberts for the home team. For the visitors, it's Will Routledge, Sam Theron, Jide Ajayi, Tom Collins, Toby Adamakin, Dante van der Merwe, Will Lewin and Johnny Kay. Well, let's take a look at some of Loughborough's recent results. James Gallagher joining us on commentary today. He is, of course, the chairman of Loughborough Students. Having a look at those, of course, you've been involved in a few of them. It's not all doom and gloom, but the league position, not a pretty sight for your side at the moment.
As you say, it's not all doom and gloom. There's some tough away fixtures there. I think a lot of sides will go away to Cardiff, Met and Hartpury and struggle. So for us to get a point out of both of those games isn't a terrible result, but obviously we want to build on that win we got against Nottingham Trent a couple of weeks ago.
So that's the standout result, because everything else has been pretty close. What was the difference between that performance and the others the rest of the season?
I think, like you spoke to Gerard earlier, the Nat 1 side had a massive win on the Saturday, so the feeling in the club was really positive. And that is the only game we've played here on the Crumb. Obviously against Exeter at home in front of a big crowd down the stadium's massive for us, but Exeter are a great side. So to play Trent on the Crumb was brilliant.
Well, let's have a look at Leeds Beckett as well. Interestingly, they've got a lot in common with Loughborough in so much that they've hardly played at home this season. I mean, we're going to have the same amount of matches for every team this season, but it will be a relief to get a lot of away fixtures out of the way in the early part of the season.
Yeah, I think that could come to fruition for both sides later in the season. We're both struggling at the bottom, but we could both build on some good home form.
Well, the bench is already out, ready to welcome the teams onto the field of play. But plenty of quality on both benches today. We've got some of the Loughborough lads out there. I can see Tom Walsh in the middle there. He's made a big impact when he's come on at scrum half in the second half so far this season.
Yeah, he's a nippy little lad, like nightmare to get hold of in training and on the pitch. He always brings a lot of energy, so really excited to see what he can do today.
Couple of new faces as well, both lads who've come in and lads who've come down from the National 1 team. From your perspective, who do you think can make a difference in African Violet this evening?
I think Sam Grahamslaw at tight head. Obviously the position vacated by myself since being injured. He's come down, played a few Nat 1 games this season. He's massive, and his work around the park probably outshines mine.
Well, Leeds Beckett make their way out onto the field of play first in their changed strip this evening. The turquoise jerseys with the black and white trim. John Okafor just making his way past the camera there. He had a fantastic performance when we had the live cameras down at Hartbury. There he is, the big number 4. Can be a match winner when he gets it right. BUCS Super Rugby presented by IoT as the hosts Loughborough students make their way to the field of play. On just 11 points this season, but undefeated at home. They had that 17-17 draw with Exeter, and of course the massive victory against Nottingham Trent, who've leapfrogged them in the league table today with that bonus point win against Cardiff University. And whoever comes away with defeat today is going to get cut off from that main pack in the league. Loughborough going to be attacking the try line away to your right in the first half. The referee for this one in the rather fetching pink jersey, quite similar to Nottingham Trent's home kit actually. Matt Turvey is in charge. He is accompanied today by Tim Allett and George Richardson as Josh Lewis puts boot to ball, and we are underway. Clean take to begin with. I think the key for both teams is a steady start here as Stephen James puts boot to ball.
They'll go.
Taken by Spencer, a first touch for him. Quite an elusive runner when he has time and space, James Spencer.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully he gets the ball in hand.
Tackles high.
Can run it back.
And straight away, Loughborough get an opportunity to kick for touch. Again, last time the cameras were here, Josh Lewis, unlucky in my opinion not to get man of the match. That went to Jared Leet.
Yeah, Hilly was a bit wrong with that selection, unfortunately.
Loughborough, how many? 6.
Spectators lining all of the barriers here at the first 15 pitch under the lights on a Wednesday night. BUCS Super Rugby presented by IoT. One of 4 matches tonight, as we mentioned. Nottingham Trent going up against Cardiff University in the early kickoff.
No!
Good early set piece there, gathered by Archie.
Sideways once!
In the second row today, had a good game at 6 when Loughborough played against Nottingham Trent. And there's Finlay. First carry for James Davis in the 12 jersey. And this an opportunity here for Loughborough. Max Hill at 6 gets his first touch. Harrison King, his first start in BUCS Super Rugby for quite some time. Ripper Smith waited, instead it goes left to Davis. Puts his head down, Okafor makes the tackle. There is Ripper Smith, breaks through, and he's going to open the scoring. Fantastic line, under the sticks, 2 minutes gone, and it's Loughborough students 5, Leeds Beckett 0.
Amazing start from the boys there, converting that penalty into what was a great move, and Ripper running through there. I mean, he's such a powerful man, it's difficult to stop him.
Well, he hit the line at pace, but I think Leeds Beckett will be very disappointed with the first up tackling. Sam Ripper Smith coming back from that head injury, of course, looked great off the bench against Trent, but what a confident start from him. Davis there, driving the big man Okafor back, winning the collision. Keep your eye on the man in the 7 jersey. Straight through the tackler. I think he'll be disappointed with that, but an excellent finish. The conversion from under the sticks made by Josh Lewis, 7-0, perfect start for the hosts.
Yeah, we spoke about it earlier, wanted a strong start. It's exactly what we want from the boys. Hopefully we can build on it. We started strong against Nottingham Trent, and hopefully we can do the same again this week and build a massive lead.
Well, optimism perhaps there from James Gallagher, club chairman, and not at all partisan commentator here at BUCS Super Rugby presented by IoT, but a good clearance there, chased up by Geary and Atta. And Loughborough straight back into Leeds Beckett's half. Our first look at the Beckett set piece here. Well, it looked like an easy finish from there, but he did have some work to do. He spotted the mismatch though, saw he was running at half-backs, and back rowers licked their lips at that kind of opportunity. Here's Conrad Cade. Much has been made of his transfer from prop to hooker. But no sign of any nerves on the arrows there as Jared Lee makes the tackle. Big collision in midfield. We'll expect plenty of those today. Leeds Beckett have a real reputation in this league for being physical ball carriers, particularly from 1 to 8. But Chester Duff on the wing likes a carry too. Xavier Valentine gets met in midfield, and this time it's Beckett who win the penalty, and Connor Lloyd, the captain, straight on it, snapping at the heels. Points machine, Connor Lloyd. Got up over 100 points and got a red card in that match against Hartpury, so an eventful evening for him.
100 points in BUCS Super Rugby is incredibly impressive though.
Yeah, no mean feat.
Line, yeah. Line,
And that 9-10 axis of Lloyd and James for Leeds Beckett, very important.
Boys, how many?
As is Findlay and Lewis for Loughborough. They've been allowed some game time to try and build a bit of a partnership there.
I think Josh Lewis is integral to how we perform. You saw how he played against Nottingham Trent, he was outstanding, and hopefully he can bring the same today.
Loose one that time from Conrad Cade, and it's Ripper Smith straight on it with the carry. He's being held up here, feet off the ground, manages to find it, but not quite in time. And Stephen James, what a tackle from the outside half. 5 minutes gone. Max Hill there, smiling for some reason.
I'm excited to see this first scrum. We all know I love a scrum.
I suppose this is the first time that you've really missed playing and watching the match, isn't it, where they're about to pack down?
Yeah, they've been running around a bit too much. Now we get to see the real stuff.
Bind! Set!
It's good to have somebody who knows what they're talking about alongside me today. It is the first scrum. Loughborough just trying to get the shove on, but Beckett actually pushing Loughborough back here. Excellent scrummage, controlled at the base from Teague. It's a loose pass though, and has that been knocked on by Stephen James? Yes, it has, but I think we're going back for the penalty, and that not a great start for your side, James.
No, I think we've been stood up a little bit in the scrum there. I do think scrum's something you build into the game. They'll feel what Beckett are doing to them and they'll adjust. Hopefully we won't see much more of that.
By the looks of things, Connor Lloyd is going to have a shot at the sticks here. 92% from the tee last season. Kerry Wood confidently told me before the match that he is the best goal kicker in the league. I think there are some people up in Northumbria that may disagree. Of course, we're up in Northumbria on Friday. It's an early kick-off as well, 4 p.m, so make sure you join us for that, not to be missed. Second versus third in the table. Northumbria against last year's league champions Exeter. But Connor Lloyd back from suspension with the first opportunity of the match to get Leeds Beckett onto the score sheet. Bang in between halfway in the 10 metre, just to the left of the sticks. Swings the right peg, drives it, great connection. Flags stay down.
22.
Well, it looked for all the world like Beckett were off the mark there.
I thought it had gone over, but the touch judges have a much better view than us.
Certainly do. And Loughborough escape. Harry Robinson on the left wing for Beckett then. Bit of space to run into, decides to take Tajata on round the outside, gets around the outside of him as well. Great burst of pace there. It's a long way round Tajata. Short ball and Harry Collier brought down. First we've really seen of this Leeds Beckett running game. Wrap around and a little dab for space. Work to do here for Loughborough. Well taken as well. Chester Duff committed.
Wait, 8.
Not the finest kick, but it is going to find touch, and Loughborough escapes. Smart kick in there from Stephen James though. He's got great vision from the boot. Another look at this. Drove it low. There's not much of a breeze out there.
Yeah, I'll get it for you. You here, boys, yeah? 4. Cheers,
Well, I don't think you're ever supposed to admit this in commentary, but I've got no idea what happened there because our angle looked like that split the uprights.
I'm with you, I'm a bit perplexed really.
But it remains Loughborough Students 7, Leeds Beckett 0. John Okafor. It's on Conrad Cade's dart, and he's looked pretty steady so far as Conrad Cade. Robinson comes in looking for work in midfield.
You took him in. Yeah, thank you.
Some King there making the tackle. It's a big old lump at 2, does Kane. King, should I say, as Conrad Cade carries in for Beckett. Oh, head down there from Stephen James, gets the offload away. Lovely stuff from Beckett, tackled 5 metres short. Stephen James looks confident, they're queuing up here. Okafor for the line, over the line, and Leeds Beckett strike back. And it's that man, John Okafor, makes it Loughborough 7, Leeds Beckett 5.
I don't think you're going to stop John Okafor from that range. It's massive. And he came onto it at considerable pace.
Well, all the talk before the match was about Loughborough injecting the pace, but Leeds Beckett swept forward there. All came from that break. Stephen James getting the ball away. Loughborough were at 6s and 7s from then. They never had time to set the defence. Okafor hit the line, got through Finley, got through Atta. And as you said, James, very difficult to stop the man from there. Game on, inside 10 minutes here. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Connor Lloyd missed his first attempt. This one a little bit closer to the sticks as the clock strikes 10 minutes. Here is the chance to equalise for the Leeds Beckett scrum half. He's pushed that one wide.
Potentially a let-off there, that could be important later in the game.
Let's have another look at this John Okafor line 2. Brilliant forwards tries so far. 2 big ball carriers hitting the line hard. And Okafor taking 2 with him there. I can't imagine that'll be the last time that happens this evening. Back underway, Leeds Beckett have left 5 points out there as number 6, Hayden Thompson-Green. Manages to win the penalty. Few in quick succession for Loughborough here.
Yeah, we'll be looking to sort out that discipline, I think. The referee's clearly got an idea of how the breakdown should be, but he's communicating it to the players, so they really should be getting their hands out of there.
Will, just be careful, there's a few breakdowns.
Stephen James finds touch.
Make sure you retire and come back through before you attack the ball, yeah? Cheers.
Another opportune platform here for Leeds Beckett.
How many 5? Tim, just have a word with your winger, that kick-off, he was about 2 yards
Just
in
the
front.
one away win for them this season, but it wasn't impressive. 34-25 against Hartpury. Their other victory coming at home against Cardiff University, 35-7.
Use it, Green! Use it!
We've got a score update. The league leaders behind to Cardiff Met, 18-7. That one kicked off at 7:30, so they should just be somewhere around half-time there.
The catch has slid back through
Bath, of course.
To use it, you haven't, yeah?
4 wins in a row coming into this one after 2 straight defeats at the beginning of the season. They are the form team, but again, evidence that anything can happen on a BUCS Wednesday.
This league has been crazy this year, I think, crazier than ever before. Everyone's beating everyone, I think. It really bodes well for the strength of all sides.
As soon as that happens, immediate.
Well, we say it every week, but there's no week off, is there? You never look at any fixtures, even Cardiff, who are yet to win this season. If you're travelling down to the Welsh capital, you can expect a serious game.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something we've highlighted, that since BUCS Super Rugby's been created, there really are no weeks off on a Wednesday. It's a tough old league, but it's exciting to play it.
Well, Cardiff getting stronger every week, and looking at Loughborough's fixtures, you won't be playing until after Christmas. It's Northumbria next, then Bath, Beckett and Durham. And you'll have them home and away when they're perhaps at their strongest.
I was going to say, but I think playing them towards the end of the season might not be the best thing. We saw how Trent built into it last year.
Another scrum looking like it could rock here for Loughborough, but they get it out, and Josh Lewis, has he knocked that one on? No, says the referee. Fergus Geary picks up the pieces. Pass just behind him there from Findlay. Max Hill carries forward, ably supported there by Kilgallen. Oh, dummy inside as Okafor comes rushing out there, trying to cut Spencer off, and it's gone forward, but off who?
I think that's 2 knock-ons there. I think it's going to be a Leeds Beckett scrum.
Well, the supporters thoroughly enjoying this one, and why not? We've had 2 great tries inside the opening 13 minutes. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Spencer there under pressure from Okafor. When he's breathing down your neck, you certainly need to act.
He's not only big, he seems very quick off the line as well.
Yeah, incredibly athletic. What an opportunity here for Leeds Beckett. Their response since falling 7 behind has been very impressive.
Loughborough will be looking to clear their lines if they win this scrum, but they'll also be looking to not give away another penalty.
Free purple early.
Free kick taken quickly. Johnny Teague with the carry. Gets past the first defender. Harrison King might have suspected he was offside, and back into the 22 as Conrad Cade gets swung around and eventually finds the ground.
Rock, leave it!
Allen attempting to get hands on that and then backing off. Loughborough have been pinged a couple of times already. Possibly numbers here. Williams gets through one, eventually gets brought down by Davis. Very important tackle there. Once again, that short line. Zab Valentine, the ball carrier this time. Heavy strapping on the right knee of the big prop forward. Approaching 15 minutes here. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Okafor attempting to get his hands on the ball. Oh, gets straight through. It's going to be a second try for the second row. And that one was simple. 15 minutes gone, back-to-back scores for John Okafor. And it's Leeds Beckett 10, Loughborough Students 7.
Okafor seems to always put a show on when the cameras are here. Once again, like he did at Hartbury, brilliant start. We have to shut him down later in the game if Loughborough want any chance.
Well, 2 scores for him. He is a man-mountain of a player, and when he gets the bit between his teeth, he is unstoppable at this level. And Connor Lloyd finally gets off the mark as well. 1 from 3 off the tee for him. It's Leeds Beckett 12, Loughborough 7.
That's quite smart from Okafor as well. Shows he's not just pure athlete. Great rugby brain, clearly.
But Leeds Beckett, inside the Loughborough 22, they're able to turn the screw at the moment. High tempo. Loughborough, I think, perhaps a little bit weary of getting hands in to try and slow that ball down, and they're being made to pay at the moment.
Yeah, it's giving them quite quick ball, and the forwards are coming onto it hard, which is always difficult to defend.
Connor Lloyd with the box kick. That was a good carry here from McPherson. Excellent chop tackle by the man who made the box kick, but Sam Bailey, first real carry for him. He scored a fantastic try against Trent a couple of weeks ago. That's the kind of game that John Okafor's having today. Kilgallen drives the legs, gets up to the 22. Good response here from Loughborough. Here's Lewis. Ripper Smith. Oh, manages to get the ball away as well to Geary. Tried to free the hands himself. 20 metres out, bang in front of the sticks. Ripper Smith with the dummy run. James Davis. Again, it's gone forward. That's the difference between the two teams at the moment. Beckett far more clinical inside the 22.
Not for me to tell you, it's for you to guess.
Better from Loughborough. Forwards getting their hands on the ball, and in fact, as Davis picked up a knock there, as we've got another score update. Bath have managed to get one back, but still trailed by 4 at the STV. And that is a half-time update there. Bath 14, Cardiff Met 18.
Yeah, we can carry on. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go. We're good to go. Let's go. Boys, let's go.
Davis is receiving a bit of treatment, so he might have picked up a little knock there. Looks like it's to his hand or arm.
Yeah, the attention is to the right arm. He's getting just out of shot.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold.
And it's been advantage Leeds Beckett in the scrum so far.
That's better from Loughborough though.
Stay there, Nine.
Lloyd waits and Findlay has a little look around, adds himself to the defensive effort.
Wait. Thank you.
Change of direction, doesn't quite find touch, and Tajuata just about manages to get the ball to Spencer. Look at this chase from Beckett though, forcing Spencer backwards. Does well in the end, brought down by Johnny Teague. Here's Lewis. That's a good pick up there by Geary. Wasn't the best of passes from Josh Lewis.
Side entry.
And another infringement from Loughborough.
One purple entry.
Another opportunity for
Back 10,
Beckett.
please, we'll talk next time.
Beckett are clearly being a nuisance at the breakdown, which is why Loughborough are struggling at the moment.
They've watched their tapes on Josh Lewis and realised that if he has time and space, he can be deadly, but they're rushing up, cutting him off at source, and it's making the world of difference at the moment.
You can see Alexander Cruz warming up in the background. There might be an early change being forced upon Loughborough here.
Approaching 20 minutes here. Remember, we try and keep our clock as close to the referee's watch as possible, but it's not the official time. So when the clock does go red, it may not be the end of the match. Harry Collier on kicking duty this time swings the left boot, leads Beckett back into the 22. Every time they've visited it so far, they've come away with at least a 5-pointer as we approach the halfway point of the first half. Conrad Cade 100% with his darts so far. Gladden and Okafor there in the middle.
Thank you,
the big man Zach Valentine at the back for Leeds Beckett. Cade finds his man again. Gladden the target this time. Canadian Youth International. Better counter drive from Loughborough though, trying to take it towards the line, but well done Connor Lloyd. Well done Harry Collier as well. Here's Valentine. In fact, Alexander Cruz has come on. It's a replacement outside half. Has that been turned over? Oh no, illegally. And Loughborough need to be careful here because it's not just penalties. Let's see how deep the referee's pocket is.
Yeah, a lot of penalties on our own red zone now. Referees will punish that eventually.
So what's the call here? Scrum by the looks of things.
That's a call after my own heart, that.
Well, keep your eye on Johnny T. All about the footwork on the number 8 here. Over 20 minutes gone. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Loughborough students taking the lead through Ripper Smith, converted by Josh Lewis. Since then, to be fair to say, it's been all Leeds Beckett. Josh Lewis has left the field of play. He's replaced by Alexander Cruz, wearing the light head guard and the number 22. But watch Beckett try and get the push on here. Starts to come. Connor Lloyd has to dig for it. Oh, lovely hands. Venables for the line, over the line, and it's a third score for Leeds Beckett. But what about that offload in midfield? 17-7.
It's all come from a great scrum once again though from the Beckett pack. They're clearly getting dominance to start with. Hopefully that can change for Loughborough, but they do look unstoppable to start with.
Well, Charlie Venables had a bit of work to do. He had men outside him, but didn't need them. But the deft handling in the middle of the park here. I'd like another look at that, because I'm actually not sure how deliberate it was.
I thought they'd caught him, so to get the ball away was incredibly impressive.
Harry Collier was the man. 22 minutes gone. 3 scores in quick succession here for Leeds Beckett. They're only 1 away from the bonus point. What's been most impressive for them is the response since falling 7 behind. Here's Connor Lloyd. Just 1 successful kick for him so far. He's left 5 points out there. Makes no mistake this time though, and it's Leeds Beckett 19, Loughborough students 7.
Sounds cliche, but I think the next score is crucial. Loughborough really need to get on the board, get back within touching distance of this Beckett side, otherwise they're in danger of pulling away.
Well, they did have that opportunity where the ball went forward from James Davies. Again, they've gone deep with the kick, and that is a great chase there by Sam Bailey. Here's James. Puts boot to ball. Never looks like the cleanest strike with Steph James, but he still gets plenty of distance on it.
It'll be interesting to see how the Loughborough backline line up now, whether Cruz goes to fly half and Lewis moves to 12 as we saw at the end of the Trent game, or if we stick Lewis, if we keep Lewis at 10. It looks like Lewis is going into the centres.
So it's James Davies who's gone off then to be replaced by Cruz.
Thank you.
Of course, Josh Lewis played most of his rugby here at Loughborough at outside half, but certainly not scared of the contact zone. Good line-out ball, and it is Cruz at outside half. Ripper Smith. Tackle by Teague. Here's Cruz again, dummies through, and Okafor gets beaten on the inside, but Ryan Everly makes the cover tackle. Here's Hill, takes that standing still, but finds the ground well. Ripper Smith waiting again, this time Lewis comes in, that's gone backwards, says the referee. And Aaron Tate threatened for a second to get around. See, Loughborough do look dangerous, as do Leeds Beckett. This one played at 100 miles an hour. It's a relentless pace. As this game grinds on, conditioning is going to play a huge part if it continues to be played so quickly.
That might be where Loughborough come into their own. We've spoken about how big Leeds Beckett's pack is, whether they can sustain it for 80 minutes. Interesting decision to go to the corner from Loughborough here.
Really interesting. It was a gift of 3 points. They've obviously got faith in that line out.
Yeah, okay, time off, contacts.
There's plenty of time on the clock as well. You wonder whether points on the board might have been the better decision.
I think the players on the pitch have a feel for what's going on, and if they think that's the right decision, then I fully back them with that. It's exciting to see, that's for sure.
Just relax, contact lenses.
Certainly is. So we've got Xavier Valentine down getting some attention there. He's already got a heavily strapped right knee. Getting some attention to the left knee this time. Tough old game out there, isn't it, as you can well attest to.
It really is, and you can always sympathise with knees. They're troublesome things.
They're a defect in the human body.
Especially when you're as big as myself or Xavier.
Cheers, boys.
Well, last time we were here, you had the Disney Princesses social. We don't see quite so much entertainment on the sidelines this evening.
I do believe they are dressing up as Baywatch theme tonight when they do go out.
It's pretty cold outside. It could be X-rated. Everyone watching at home. So oh goodness gracious me. Oh, Ripper Smith up the blind side, finds the hooker King, who's in unopposed. Straight off the training ground, and Loughborough back into it.
I cannot express how excited Nathan Smith will be right now. That move will have been drilled into them all week, so to see it come off, it's proven they were right to go to the corner.
Certainly was. Great response from Loughborough. We're getting tries every time the teams go into the 22 at the moment. 5 in total in just 25 minutes.
It makes for great viewing unless you're the defence coach for either side, of course.
Well, let's have another look at this. Well taken by McPherson. Nobody on the blind side. Good execution of the 2-on-1 from Ripper Smith as well. Connor Lloyd had no chance. And Harrison King in for Jared Leet in the 2 jersey. No, Jared Leet's in the 1 jersey, ignore me. Jamie Cox, Jared Leet. You all look the same, you front row mutants. Lewis dissects the uprights as well. The crowd in the dugouts had a great view of that. Straight and true, Loughborough 14 at Leeds Beckett 19. What a game.
Yeah, exciting first half. It's just whether they can keep it up, like we said, incredibly intense. The game's always quick out on the crumb, but this is another level.
James gets us back in the way. Loughborough have let that bounce, and Tajuata has some cleaning up to do. And it's been turned over. Big turnover as well, as Wadden gets driven towards the line there by James Gulliver. That's gone forward, and Loughborough have been let off there.
Looks like there's been another change. Austin Wallace appears to be on in the back row. We'll try to see who he's come on for. And again in the front row, Osmond Demon on. I think Jared Leet has gone off and seen Sam Grahamslaw move to Loosehead. A lot of early changes for Loughborough. Could be disruptive, but could bring energy.
So Max Hill's packing down at 8, so Ollie Kilgallen's the man who's made way.
We'll see if Max Hill can bring the explosive ball carrying that his brother displays for Worcester Warriors. Been called up to the England squad. Not quite as Hilly, not quite as good as Ted, but see if he can display some of his brother's charm.
Well, he's certainly not as big. Max Hill adds some weight to that. Those changes in the front row seems to have steadied the ship for Loughborough's Hill. Actually puts boot to ball. Gets a good contact on that as well, does Max Hill. Here's the chase as well from Tajuata. Puts Charlie Venables under pressure. Venables does very well though. Gets round one. Hill with the recovery tackle. Bailey looking to put the big shot on, but Charlie Venables doing very well to clear the line. Well, it's forwards training ground moves all over the place, but look at Stephen James putting John Okafor into space, but that must have been a forward pass. Well, it's end-to-end stuff. Okafor throws it away. 2 tries and a little bit of petulance from the big number 4.
Looks like the referee's awarded a penalty for the said petulance.
Well, let's take a look at this. Brilliant work from Venables. What a chase from Tajuata.
22, mate, yeah, 22.
But Stephen James through the dummy there and the offload as well. Something that was picked up on before the match is the amount of time in open play that Okafor spends on the wing. Not something that you associate second rowers with, but he can be very damaging no matter where he is.
Yeah, maybe they're looking for a mismatch, but it's also something that other teams can idea as a mismatch defensively, perhaps get round the outside of him, although he has proven today he's very quick.
Loughborough students 14, Leeds Beckett 19. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. See Austin Wallace there wearing number 20 in the orange scrum cap. Oh, they turned that one over. First line out we've had turned over. Bit of scramble defence required here as Conrad Cade goes to ground. Good leg drive there, making some metres off Max Hill. There is Tajuata waiting for the kick. It's not going to come just yet. Johnny Teague brings it forward for Beckett, 10 metres from their own line as we approach half an hour. In a match where they've spent a long time in the ascendancy. Lloyd does put boot to ball. Tajuata waits, gets it at the second time of asking, chased down by Harry Robinson. Graham Slaw. Here's Finley. Cruz, the replacement 10, and Josh Lewis outside him. Fergus Geary met by Connor Lloyd, who's certainly not scared to dish it in defence for a 9. Scrappy from Loughborough through the legs as Wallace tries to rescue something, and instead he gets a nice welcome from the Leeds Beckett bench. Ball's gone forward, half an hour gone, Leeds Beckett scrum.
That might be the last time I take the mickey out of Hilly as he pulls something magical out of the bag that I haven't seen from Ted yet. So Ted, if you play on the weekend, mate, we'd love to see a kick off the base of the scrum.
Yeah, one that clears 70 or 80 metres. He'll be dining out on that all night, won't he?
Yeah, he'll be clipping that, putting on his highlight reel.
Of course, those regular watchers and listeners of BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti will have heard Max Hill on co-commentary duty a couple of Wednesdays ago. We saw Tajuata there, he was involved with Wasps. In fact, I think did he score against Gloucester the other week in the Prem Cup?
He might have done. He definitely played for them, came off the bench, which is exciting for a young lad of his age.
Got a scrum from Loughborough, but Leeds Beckett hold firm. And Steph James releases the backs once again. Charlie Venables, the try scorer, gets the ball away. Chester Duff switches wings. It's been quiet for half an hour, but a dangerous ball carrier as Hill nearly turned that one over, but it comes back Beckett's way. James has Okafor outside him instead, goes behind, and the big line shunts Fergus Geary back. One thing to be said for Beckett's ball carriers, they hit the line hard as Adrian Wadden's on the inside. Stephen James really making them tick at the moment. Dummies and goes again, but the ball comes loose this time. Stephen James with one of the more heartbreaking man of the matches when he was awarded the title against Bath in that big match, only for Bath to score the winning penalty after it had been awarded. But he's making things happen at the moment.
Yeah, I think the important thing is he's really taking it to the line. Everything that Beckett are doing is happening right in front of the defence, which is so difficult to defend. It's incredibly impressive how he's just bringing boys into play from either side. I think going forward we're going to have to idea a way to shut him down.
Into the final 10 minutes of the first half then, BUCS Super Rugby, brought to you by Yoti. Loughborough opened the scoring through Ripper Smith. There were then 3 unanswered scores, 2 for Okafor, 1 for Venables. King bounced back. A couple of changes for Loughborough, one of them being that man Max Hill shifting from 6 to 8. Okafor being called back by the referee. Findlay swings the left boot to box, one for Atta to chase, and that's a good collision on Venables as well. It's dangerous from deep. There's Gulliver. Again, lovely handling here from Beckett. Chester Duff gets rid of one and makes meters on another 2 for Loughborough. Big strong ball carrier Chester Duff. Former tennis coach in Eastbourne as well. There's some BUCS Super Rugby facts for you as Loughborough win the penalty.
It's quite interesting how we all have our own little different stories. Everyone's come from very different backgrounds.
What's yours?
We've got to have a competition there.
Oh, mine's not suitable for the airways.
Pure scrummaging.
Okay, I'll have a look for you. Yeah, I'll have a look.
James Gallagher at the coalface. It's Josh Lewis. Kicks for touch. So you're the club chairman here at Loughborough Students RFC. Was that a voting process?
It was, yes, but there were a few boys looking to run for it, and I sort of said I'd put myself forward, and I ended up being the only one running for it in the end. So
I was going to say, who did you beat? That was going to be the next question, but you shut me down there early doors.
Jared Leet was considering it, but I think he realised I was a much better bloke and deserved it.
And modest with it as well. As Leeds Beckett interrupt another line out for Loughborough Students. They managed to get the ball back though. Harrison King making up for the loose dart by pouncing on it on the 10-metre line. There's Osman Demon waiting for it. First half substitute gets met with 2 big front rowers though, Cade and Valentine. That is not a duo that you want to take on, and here goes Connor Lloyd. Oh, a bit of 9-on-9 crime there as well.
So it seems to be a bit of nothing here, really.
Well, last time we said that with Leeds Beckett, there were 2 red cards. So I'm keeping my opinions to myself until the referee's made his decision. Well, he's reversed the decision.
It's the second time.
That's twice Leeds Beckett have been pinged for dissent. First when John Okafor threw it away, and then Connor Lloyd getting carried away. Remember, he has a history in this division.
I was going to say he's building a bit of reputation, the crowd loving that as well.
Your free tapping on the head, and then one of your number 4.
There you go. I think it was for that second left hand.
That's why it's reversed, because the number 4 tapping the player on the head.
Till coming in, doing absolutely nothing to add his weight there.
Wait, step. Thank you.
Interesting that both scrum halves are captaining the teams this evening. Findlay for Loughborough, Lloyd for Beckett.
They're naturally lippy, so it makes sense.
I think they'd refer to themselves as communicators. Oh, again, the line-out doesn't function for Loughborough, but Demon manages to pick up the pieces at the back of the line. Just on the edge of the 22. Harrison King, the try scorer, brings it forward for the home team. Graham Slaw waits. Graham Slaw puts his head down, and again, big collisions from Beckett. Here's Cruz, short ball to Ripper Smith, offload again to Cruz, evades one, throws it around the outside. Who's that bounce to? And who's it gone backwards off? Oh, it's gone forwards off Leeds Beckett. I think they're unlucky there.
Just a knock on for me that way first.
It'll be interesting to see this scrum. I think Loughborough have been getting the edge over the last couple, so they might look to keep this at the back and see if they can build on it.
Well, Osman Demon's come on. Has he got a reputation as a scrummager in the Loughborough crew?
Yeah, and I think Sam Grahamslaw's natural position is loose head, so moving him back there might have something to do with it.
Alexander Cruz there, throwing the Hail Mary. If it comes off, then it's try time, but I think Loughborough a little bit lucky there. I'm not entirely sure where the knock-on happened, but as we approach half-time, 3 minutes to go, Loughborough 14, Leeds Beckett 19, and a big opportunity here for the hosts.
It's scrums in positions like this that really make me miss the game.
No, get back,
Surely that's offside. No, but Max Hill bounces through the first one, rolls over, reaches for the line. No try, says the referee.
1-2.
Ted would have scored that.
Well, let's take another look at this. Max Hill slowed down into the contact zone.
No, still got a minute and a bit.
That looked offside to me. I think Connor Lloyd's very lucky, but Hill bounces the man off, rolls over, and I think that's a try. I think we had a great view of that. The referee was the wrong side, and Loughborough unlucky, but nursed into touch. Lovely kick.
I'm sorry, Hilly, I take it back. That was a great try, mate.
But the scoreboard remains unchanged, and Leeds Beckett get away with one. They still lead by 5 points. We've got some game on our hands here as we approach half-time. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Conrad Cade, 100%
He's at 9, play on.
from the darts, and that remains the same. Adrian Wadden coming into some pressure there, doing well to keep two hands on that ball. Okafor drops out since his second score. He's been quite quiet around the park. This time it's Loughborough's turn to put the pressure on in defence. Some brutal collisions.
20 seconds, boys, 20 seconds.
I have to say, it's very impressive, Cade making the transition to hooker and having such good darts.
He's had one bad game this season, and the referee decides he's seen enough. I did say that our clock isn't officially in with the referee's watch, and he calls a half to this one. It's BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. That man has been the difference so far. 2 scores in quick succession for him, and with 40 minutes gone, it is Loughborough students 14, Leeds Beckett 19. James Gallagher, your thoughts on that first half?
It's been exciting to watch, that's for sure. Both sides going through different spells of dominating. Loughborough off to a good start, and then Leeds Beckett really putting their foot on the throat for the next sort of 20 minutes. But Loughborough built back into it, and it would be interesting to see what happens at the start of the second half. It may be whoever starts best can start to pull away from the other.
As Kerry Wood takes his away team into the sheds. It's Loughborough 14, Leeds Beckett 19 here. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Well, this is BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. 1 half down, 1 to go. And of course, we must take this opportunity to say thank you to Yoti for their continued support.
It was so much easier because I had already set up on the app about 3 months ago actually when it first came to the island.
I really like how simple it was to use.
It's the kind of convenience we want in this holidays that we live in.
Like, you don't really want to carry your passport around on night out, you're always going to have a phone on you.
The convenience to be able to go up and get my phone and just scan a thing.
It's just easy, you have all your stuff in one place.
And it makes life a lot easier when you're trying to prove your age and quite versatile as well.
Thank you once again to Yoti for their continued support of BUCS Super Rugby. That's the score here, and it's in the balance, 14-19. We've had 5 tries between the two teams and a couple of controversial moments as well, so let's take a look. This was the opening score. Ripper Smith, as we expected, he's hit the line hard for 40 minutes. But a great finish from him to kick things off.
Yeah, great start from Ripper. It's a great line, very similar to the Okafor line that we see later on. Both big ball carriers running hard, very hard to defend.
He just caught Connor Lloyd flat-footed there. As you can see, the number 9 chasing. It's very difficult when you're going backwards. But what a response from Leeds Beckett. There is Steph James there, getting the hands free. Hayden Thompson-Green, he's in for Toby Francis today. He's had a great 40 minutes, but this man, John Okafor, unstoppable from this kind of distance.
Yeah, I think it would take a very big man to stop him. Potentially no one big enough in the league to stop someone that big from that range.
But of course, he gets all the plaudits for the finish, but it was the pace at which they were able to generate phase after phase there. Loughborough just not able to cope with that kind of pace on the ball.
I think we're struggling to slow the ball down at the breakdown. I think Leeds are playing excellently, getting quick ball, and that's why James is on the front foot so much.
Well, this was the second try. The conversion was missed from Conor Lloyd. He missed a penalty as well. Keep your eye on John Okafor here. The ball just appeared, there was a huge hole, and he just strolled through it. One of the easiest finishes he'll get this season.
Yeah, certainly, but you can't take away from how smart that is. It's a tactic not often used. You see the Tongans use it quite a lot, and going straight through the middle of the breakdown is definitely effective.
Yeah, Archie McPherson certainly wasn't, Sam Grahamslaw certainly wasn't expecting that.
With big rangy legs like that, you can sort of just step over the top.
Well, that was converted by Conor Lloyd to make it 12-7. And then Charlie Venables got over the line. Let's have a look at this offload there. Oh, it came off the shoulder of Josh Lewis and just fell into the breadbasket. But still, he had some work to do there. The cover defence came in, but a good finish from Venables.
Yeah, very good finish. Perhaps the offload isn't as exceptional as you first thought, but still a great try off the back of a very good scrum.
Yeah, it was good hands there from Steph James as well. He's had an excellent half. He's evidence that there's plenty of opportunity in BUCS Super Rugby. Third team player who came in at the end of last season and got 3 man of the matches in a row.
That really is impressive.
And this was how Loughborough struck back off the training ground. We questioned as to whether they should have gone for the 3 points, but it was a great response. Again, Ripper Smith involved, but Harrison King, lovely finish from the number 2.
Yeah, it shows exactly why I'm not captain. Wrong decision for me to take the points.
Now, here's where the controversy was. Loughborough with a great opportunity to equalise. Max Hill has shifted from 6 to 8. We've got a great view of it here. Gets rid of the first man, reaches out for the line, rolls there, and that ball's grounded, categorically.
The referee gave double movement, I believe, is what he's given.
Did he? Okay.
Still think it's harsh, personally, but if the referee believes it's double movement, then that's what he believes.
Where's the momentum? This is a massive collision here.
I think that's one movement there. Hilly's momentum's taken him over, but I think the referee thought he was stopped and then reached out, and if that's what he thought, then it's the right decision from him.
Well, as we move through the gears here with BUCS Super Rugby and we bring in the TMO, then it might be a different score. Until then, it is Loughborough Students 14, Leeds Beckett 19. Of course, we've got 4 matches this evening. One of the teams featuring our Heartbreak, the defending champions, and a fantastic advert for the sport at this level. Earlier in the season, we were down at the Gilmans and BUCS brought the cameras, and this is what they captured.
We've been going now for 14, 15 years and we've had some good success and I just feel the competitive edge always at Hartbury and like I said, on and off that field, it just makes that success for us.
It's just driving our own standards really, so a lot of our stuff is player led, so a lot of boys have roles within the team and it's just making sure we keep on top of our analysis, keep on top of keeping high training standards and just enjoying it really.
The way university rugby's gone the last 2 or 3 years, especially with the introduction of BUCS Super Rugby, it's sort of up the standard. But across the board, if you look at BUCS Super Rugby, it's 5 points amongst the top 5 teams or something like that at the moment. So the standard's not only got higher, but it's got higher across the whole 8, 9 teams, however many it is now, 10. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, there's no easy games. You've got to be on your best performance each week, and yeah, it's enjoyable to play.
I think it's a massive stepping stone now. The level's got to that point where players are managing to transition from BUCS rugby into professional environments, which I think is credit to all the teams and everyone involved with it. For me, yeah, it's developed me massively over the 3 years and put me into the situation where I am now.
BUCS Super Rugby, it is shaping it, and like I said, when these freshers come in, they either watch it live stream, it's something that they want to aspire to, is being in that first team, and it's just giving it that little bit of an edge.
The crowd erupt, and Hartbury are the winners, 18 points to 17 in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti.
Plenty of action around the grounds this evening. Trent hosted Cardiff in the early kickoff. That kicked off 3:30 at Lady Bay. Trent got the bonus point win there, nul point for Cardiff. It was 38-19. Bath started the day top of the tree. They are behind at Cardiff Met as it stands, and we've got a score update. They've not been particularly good at keeping us up to date at Durham and Hartpury because of the signal down there, I believe. But the latest we heard, it was just after half time, and Hartpury are 34-10 to the good. Hartpury, one of the sides that when they do turn the screw, they really are able to disappear out of sight.
Yeah, they are, but they had a massive lead against us at half time. We did manage to claw it back, and I think we only lost by 9 points in the end, having been down by over 20 at half time. So it's not all out over for Durham, I don't think.
Well, as the league table stands, Hartpury will be going top. It would be a 4th consecutive victory for them. The only team who've been able to get 4 wins back-to-back so far this season are Bath. If they can get by Cardiff Met today, that'll be 5. And after a disappointing start to the season for them, which included a defeat to Durham down at Roslin Park, then they can be very happy with the way things are going. Let's take a look at the matches we'll be bringing you in the not too distant future. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Of course, you lucky ducks, you've got 2 opportunities to watch live matches this week as we go to Northumbria on Friday. They host Exeter. It's an early kickoff, so a great warm-up to the weekend. We'll be live from 3:45, kickoff at 4 o'clock, and hopefully you'll join myself and the team on Friday. Next week, it is Bath versus Durham from the STV. Then we're up in Yorkshire. Leeds Beckett, the team currently leading Exeter, and that's another mouth-watering clash against Exeter. They'll be having that at Headingley as well. Fantastic pitch for a fantastic occasion. We're back in Northumbria at the end of November as they host Loughborough. And then on the 5th of December, it's Nottingham Trent versus Durham. Every one of those fixtures is a potential classic, James Gallagher.
Yeah, they're all mouth-watering fixtures. Unfortunately, I won't be back for that for a Northumbria game, but I'll be travelling up with the boys, so might see you guys there.
So what is your time scale then? When are you expecting to be back?
It is before Christmas, but I don't want to say exactly when. I don't want the teams to preview me coming back.
I think you need to get back before Christmas, because otherwise the turkey kicks in, there are a few boxes of celebrations knocking about, and the kilos just fly on.
Yeah, I know, and I need the kilos to fly off at this stage, so we definitely can't get back after Christmas.
Don't we all, Gally? Well, if you enjoy BUCS Super Rugby, then why not join myself and Burnsy? One of them's me, the other one's the good-looking one. But we have the BUCS stops here. Join the conversation. We like to keep up to date with every single team involved with BUCS Super Rugby. It's a great place to catch up with all the matches. In fact, Gally, you would have featured on the very first episode, but I forgot to press record on the recorder, so perhaps we'll have to catch up another time.
No, that's a real shame, but I can't recommend that podcast enough. It's really enjoyable every week, and it's amazing how informative it is.
Oh, stop it. But do join the conversation. The BUCS Stops here is the podcast, and we like to release an episode every week where we talk about the matches that have been, and we try and catch up with some players, some coaches, and bring you a little bit of gossip. Speaking of which, I'm going to try and catch up with Connor Lloyd after the match to finally find out what happened with that red card. But here come the hosts, Loughborough students, with a bit of work to do. Leeds Beckett 19-14 to the good, but James Gallagher, this one very much in the balance. Anyone's game with 40 to go.
Yeah, as we've seen, Leeds Beckett scored 19 points very quickly, so it can all turn very quickly. I think once again the first score is important.
Stephen James, the man with the ball in his hand, a very exciting 40 minutes for the outside half with the scrum cap on. Of course, one of the main coaches up at Leeds Beckett, Colin Stevens, a Welsh international outside half back in his day with over 20 caps. What a man to be learning off. Stephen James will get us back underway. Leeds Beckett in the green and black jerseys, attacking the try line to your right in the second half. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti, and the visitors just one score away from a bonus point as well. Fergus Geary with the first touch finder.
Fergus Geary's another player who's unlucky not to get man of the match against Nottingham Trent. I thought that was the game he really came into his own.
Conrad Cade, exceptional with his darts in the first half. And the first opportunity for Beckett to get a platform in this second. No changes to their pack by the looks of things. Xavier Valentine there at the back, and Loughborough have turned one over. There's the replacement back rower, Austin Wallace, taking the long way round. Looking quite sharp as well as we run through the starting 15s across the bottom of your screen.
That's Austin Wallace's first game here in BUCS Super Rugby. Once again, another player playing for Loughborough. We do have a lot of players who played over the last 3 years. I think the most in the league.
Well, I think you're the first team to reach 100 players to wear the jersey in BUCS Super Rugby. And I think it was mentioned by both coaches in the build-up here, balancing that National 1 team and the BUCS Super Rugby team, two incredibly competitive divisions. It does mean you have a high turnover of players.
Yeah, it really does. I think it leads to a higher injury rate, but I think it shows the real depth we have here at Loughborough. We have 5 teams, and I coach one of the BUCS 3s and the BUCS 4 sides, and they played some excellent rugby today as well.
How have they got on?
BUCS 3 won, and BUCS 4 had an unfortunate draw, 19-all.
Another draw. We don't get enough of them in rugby. Anyway, Leeds Beckett, great position here as Connor Lloyd puts the ball in. First scrum of the second half, and Leeds Beckett attacking the 22, but it's gone forward off Collier. Again, Stephen James taking it to the line, asking questions of the Loughborough defence. Max Hill providing the block. Charlie Venables, try-scorer in the first half, gets straight through into the 22. Venables round the outside of an important ankle tap, but he's back up, throws the offload to Chester Duff, reaches for the line. He's just short in the position where Max Hill couldn't convert at the end of the first half. Can Beckett convert at the start of the second? Yes, they can. Johnny Teague over the whitewash, and it's Beckett 24, Loughborough 14.
Far too easy, that break there. Kick chase wasn't really good enough, but you have to say, getting back to his feet and throwing that pass was exceptional, very impressive.
Well, full-backs love having that opportunity to run into space, but here was the moment that James Gallagher mentioned. Not held down from the tackle. Chester Duff trying to go over the top of Cruz, who just about got enough on him. Josh Lewis there trying to get hands on it, but there was no stopping Beckett. Johnny Teague from short range. That is light work for a number 8. And Leeds Beckett secure the bonus point. It's 24-14 with the kick to come. Connor Lloyd missed his first 2. But he's been 3 from 3 since then. Flawless from the number 9, 26-14.
Another Loughborough player just receiving treatment there. We've had to use the bench extensively already.
Well, they were queuing up, were Leeds Beckett. But there was no chance that that was leaving the hands of Johnny Teague. 4 minutes of the second half gone. Cruz.
Yeah, good call. Carried back!
There's Okafor, first touch of the second half for him.
Leave it! All of you hold on the kick.
James puts boot to ball.
Hasn't got as much distance as I think he would have liked there.
I think the disappointing thing for Loughborough there was the fact that they turned over the line out. It was good work from Wallace, and then one bad kick and it's all undone.
Yeah, but I think any kick can be made good by its chase, so I think that's where the real issue we'll find.
One thing that we've not really spoken about is the relentless line lift from Leeds Beckett, making it so difficult for Loughborough to get any ball wide. Oh, another short one here. Once again, it's King. He's bailed into touch this time, but he loves striding down that touchline.
Tackles over
high
the
tackle
shoulder.
given by the referee there, and Okafor looks like he hurt himself. I hope he hasn't hit himself on the advertising boarding, because that would be incredibly painful.
Well, it was short to McPherson.
Yeah, we should carry it
Not
over
sure
there,
what happened with Okafor there.
Don't scrum.
Conrad Cade will be a little bit disappointed to be pinged there.
Boys, how many, please?
That might be a move that might have been better off saved to a little closer to the line, because he made a good few metres.
Well, Okafor's stayed down. Let's have another look at the big number 4. Has he clipped something on the way down? Maybe just an awkward fall.
Or just how he stretched to make the tackle, maybe.
Balls at the front, you're legal.
But we're back underway. Loughborough knocking on the door here. Looks promising for the home team. They're claiming it. The referees awarded it. And Loughborough up to 19.
That man King again scoring. Coming back into the BUCS Super Rugby side and having a great game.
2 tries for Harrison King. And now Loughborough just 1 score away from the bonus point. 7 scores between the 2 sides. Leeds Beckett still in the ascendancy.
Big kick here, it could take us to within just another converted try of taking the lead.
Josh Lewis, the man trusted to kick the points. How important a kick's going to be in this match. Remember, Connor Lloyd already missed a couple. Oh, it's hit the post and gone in. Look of surprise on Lewis's face as he heard the pole rattle there.
And successful conversion from number 10, Josh Lewis, takes score.
Well, John Okafor getting treatment here. I think he realises his team's under the cosh. Turns and goes, but by the time he gets back onto the pitch, he's too late. And Loughborough have driven over.
His extra weight could have made a big difference there.
And he's going to be 100 plus extras, isn't he?
Yeah, at least.
Here's Austin Wallace. It's quite a live wire, certainly not as big and physical as a lot of the back rowers. Very often those are the most dangerous, as Charlie Venables puts a shoe on it and Cruz gets it the second time of asking. Here's Venables. Kick of his own as far as
Wait free.
Stephen James.
This is the part of the game, all forwards hate kick tennis. We're just running shuttles in the middle.
Venables turns, oh, he's done well again. Tajuata with the chase, but Venables always looks comfortable, even when he's got defenders breathing down his neck.
Always looks like he has time on the ball.
Composure at 15, so important.
Okay, leave it! Get off.
For a second, we were going to have a bit of a tear-up again with Ripper Smith on his back. Oh, wonderful chase. Gathered over the shoulder as well. That's the kind of relief you want from a box kick.
I think he'd have been intending to find touch there, so the chase has made it a good kick. Like I said earlier, any chase can make a kick a good kick.
Half charge down there, but it goes back Leeds Beckett's way. Charlie Venables again gets past the first defender. Beckett not looking under too much pressure, but not getting out of their 22 either. They'll be keen to do so as soon as possible with 10 minutes of this second half gone. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Loughborough want to go quickly this time. Here's Cruz. He's got Tate for support. Eats the shoulder there of Conrad Cade, and he's being held up. This needs to move forward for Loughborough. Some backs in there adding weight. And I think from the moment Cruz went into contact there, it looked like bad news.
Yeah, he tried to get his knee down. It looked like he had for a second, but he got swiftly lifted up and held up quite well by the Beckett boys.
That kind of physicality is something that Leeds Beckett have been famed for in BUCS Super Rugby.
Twice you've been involved. Let's go, boys. Scrum.
This scrum will be interesting. Loughborough have been starting to get the nudge. I think if anyone from the IRB is listening, we need to bring in scrum referees, because none of the referees will have played in the front row, will they?
What, who just come in like special teams in American football?
Yeah, exactly. And if you're interested in IRB, I'm happy to do it for you.
Do you think it needs an official either side of the scrum, watching both sets of props?
Yeah, the touch judge is obviously meant to help the referees out, but it can be happening on both sides.
Well, free kick awarded here, and Leeds Beckett not hanging about as Venables runs from deep again. Tate.
Great turnover.
Does the great work there. There's Aaron Tate. His reputation in the league is for fantastic footwork, but it was wonderful stuff at the breakdown there. And that's important work as well, because Leeds Beckett, once they've got that shift on going forward, they've looked deadly.
Yeah, Tatey doing well there. His try against Trent was a bit questionable, so maybe we're getting our due diligence there with not being ordered today.
What, that big referee in the sky?
Yeah, exactly.
Score update, and Bath have turned it around against Cardiff Met. That's 4 tries and a bonus point for Bath as well, looking for their 5th win in a row. And to put some daylight between themselves and Met as well, who are just a couple of points behind going into this round of fixtures. Wrap around there and nudged into the corner from Lewis. He turns the full-back and puts it 5 metres out.
I was about to say I think a lot of our movement was happening a bit too deep there, but it's work space for Lewis to put in an excellent kick.
I think that's smart play from Loughborough though, because they've struggled to create space because Beckett's defensive lift has been so relentless.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Beckett are very quick off the line, and maybe we've ID'd this is how we're going to attack them now.
BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti, and that's been intercepted.
Great lift.
Well, the ref's blown his whistle. Is he not happy with the amount of time that McPherson spent in the air there?
Hooker, get it in quicker. No, it's not free, it's the line out again.
Well, I think there was a dummy jump by Leeds Beckett there. I think he should give benefit of the doubt to us there, really, but let's see if we can turn it over again.
Well, penny for Conrad Cade's thoughts. This is a defensive line out 5 metres from the line. He's just had one snaffled by Archie McPherson, who's done it again. Oh, he's been tackled in the air. This is trouble here for Beckett.
You can see the crowd there getting into Conrad Cade a lot.
Oh, there's a problem here. Who's just thrown the ball at a Beckett player? I am fairly sure that there will be cards awarded here, and there's no need for that from Loughborough. I think Will Findlay might be guilty.
If the referee overturns this penalty 5 metres out, we'll kick ourselves.
Conrad Cade has taken out Will Findlay there in the air. John Okafor's being the peacemaker, sending a few of the big men back. And let's have a listen to what the referee has to say here.
You got any foul play to report apart from the tackle in the air? No? Come here.
Well, no foul play to report. A shrug of the shoulders from the assistant.
Okay, listen. The tackle in the air is marginal. What happens after doesn't happen on this field again, yeah? So you deal with your players as I've asked you to from the start and go away.
Well, Matt Turvey, the referee, taking a pretty dim view, but I think very difficult to single out individuals in a melee like that.
Potentially smart refereeing, not allowing it to boil over.
I also think Conrad Cade might have been offside there as well, so he can consider himself quite lucky. But keep your eye on the scrum half. Yeah, throwing the ball at Conrad Cade there.
Yeah, it's all a bit of nothing though. I think we can't let rugby get too soft. Shout out to the crowd though. They've got great support down there in the bottom corner. That might be why Cade's struggling.
Well, from the horse's mouth, what an opportunity here for Loughborough though. Archie McPherson gathers it. Loughborough in a similar position to where the last try came from. It was Harrison King on that occasion. Okafor's off the ground and Will Findlay's the chief cheerleader. They're over the line, the ball's down and Loughborough are all square.
Great try there from the boys. Great to see the backs getting involved. I hope they didn't take the ball off the forwards though. That's a forwards try.
Well, Harrison King came up with it. Is that a hat trick for the hooker?
I hope for his sake it's not. He'll pay for that later tonight.
Well, that line out the difference for Loughborough there. They turned 2 over, they won the penalty. But the patience here, look at Will Findlay.
I think he'd be better off adding a bit of weight instead of just shouting.
It is only a little bit of weight though, isn't it?
Any weight counts. Typical backs should stand there shouting at us forwards to do all the hard work.
Well, that is a hat-trick for Harrison King. 3 tries for the hooker as he returns to BUCS Super Rugby. And the chance for Josh Lewis to put Loughborough ahead for the first time since Ripper Smith's try. Well, that's his first miss of the evening, and it is Loughborough students 26, Leeds Beckett 26. What a game here on the first 15 pitch.
Momentum strong back to Loughborough now, but you really can't call this game.
Yeah.
BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti, and it is another Wednesday night classic. Stephen James gets us back underway. Tajuata claims it clean.
James has been a bit quieter at the start of the second half. Maybe Loughborough have ID'd how they want to defend him.
Here's Ryan Everly. Not had a lot of carries as the big number 1, but he's made some meters there. James Gulliver securing the ball. Here is Cade, guilty of giving away that penalty. Manages to get the ball away there, just to look loose in his grasp as well. There is James, short line, lovely line from Collier, throws it off the left hand to Chester Duff, who's brought down by Tate.
He's definitely held there.
Gets a foot in touch, does Chester Duff.
Good scramble defence there. Nearly cursed us there. James getting back involved as soon as I said he's been quiet.
Loughborough, how many?
Again, it's that temptation.
Let's go.
You never know where it's going to go. He takes it right to the line. It's quite gutsy play from him as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's effective though. Proven all game how good he is at taking it to the line and making very quick decisions.
Because at some point you're going to get smashed.
Yeah, you are, but I think if you're training with Okafor every week, you'll get used to it.
Here is King, the hat-trick hero. Oh, that's well taken though. Leeds Beckett doing to Loughborough what Loughborough did to them.
Off feet now.
Lloyd. Swallowed up there by Sam Bailey.
7 move, good.
Ripper Smith. Johnny Teague, scorer of that early try in the second half for Beckett, as Lloyd has a little go himself. Wallace drags him down by his bootstraps. Approaching the hour mark here, still so much rugby to come, and Harry Collier.
Big shot from Hilly there.
Okay, the referee feeling the pace as well, as there's the little dab inside, and Tajuata pounces on it. There's not a lot of space to run into Tajuata.
Use it!
There might have been a little bit afters off the ball there between the 13 and James Spencer. Tom Williams for Leeds Beckett.
Okay, let's time off. Stop play calls.
I think there might have been a stamp from what I saw. It'd be interesting to see what the touch judge says.
Okay, I've not seen what you've seen, but tell me what you've seen. To the knee of the place, it's to the joint by 13 green. It's a red card. 13 green, 13 green.
Big news.
30.
Tom Williams in trouble.
Okay, the report from the, listen, relax, I'm going to say. The report from the AR, right, is a stamp by 13 green that's made contact with the joint to the knee. There's no option but red card.
Well, I'll be seeing you, Tom Williams. That's he could have cost his side there.
Well, let's have another look at this. The assistant referee was very certain with his decision. Here was Tajuata on the turn. Tom Williams.
Watch James Spencer come in here. It's a little bit afters off the ball here.
Not till the penalty. Time's off to the
candidate. Definitely. Tom Williams rightfully given his marching orders by referee Matt Turvey. And Leeds Beckett have 22 minutes as they're down to 14 players for the second time this season.
Relax there, boys. Okay,
yeah, but this time they're not joined by the opposition. Loughborough need to make this difference pay. I wouldn't want to be Tom Williams sat on in that dugout next to all those Loughborough fans now.
Here we are. Green line's yours.
And I think Conor Lloyd asked the referee a question at the end of it, but I think when they see the replay they won't have any complaints there. Tom Williams rightfully sent from the field of play.
No, not at all. No place for that in the game. Cheap shot.
Yeah, thank you.
26 all, the bonus point already secure for both sides. But if Leeds Beckett can pull, oh, massive shot there. Oh, and a massive shot in return. Ripper Smith.
Thank you.
Dishing one, then feeling another.
That's just like this game, back and forth right there.
Cruz. Perhaps spending a little bit more time on the pitch than he'd have expected to. Replaced James Davis, and him and Josh Lewis are kind of interchanged between 10 and 12.
Which might be difficult to defend against for Leeds Beckett.
There's Venables half charged down, and Tajuata backwards off him. There's Will Routledge, he's come off the bench for Beckett.
Good work, good work.
Of course, they've got so much danger in the midfield. Do not write Leeds Beckett off in this match. Spencer up the tram lines, back in field, and somehow manages to turn the back three for Beckett, but again Venables with a chance to run from deep.
Much better chase from Loughborough this time, cutting him off.
Hold 4. Cheers.
Collier seems to be the kicking option for Beckett, and manages to get the visitors back into the Loughborough 22. Let's have one last look at this. Just a moment of madness.
I just don't know how you expect that's not going to be seen by the referee or his touch judge.
Well, it was right in front of the AR. There were no bodies between the incident and the man stood in the top left of your shot there. Loughborough students 26, Leeds Beckett 26. 19 minutes of this BUCS Super Rugby presented by EOT to go.
Forward between you two.
It's just gone forward there. Credit to Leeds Beckett though, they're piling the pressure on in the Loughborough line-out.
Yeah, I think so. I think both sides have got a bit of joy at the line-out defensively in the second half. Clearly both adjusting to what the other's doing. Be interesting to see what changes each side make.
Coach!
Loughborough, of course, have a natural overlap here if they can get the ball out to the backs.
Yeah, you can't see it on screen, but Aaron Tate's holding massive width, so it'll be interesting to see if they exit or...
Oh, look at Beckett though, putting the pressure on, and Tajuata takes the ball up the blind side. Much better scrum from Leeds Beckett there. Good response since going down to 14 from them. Sensible rugby, playing for territory. If Loughborough are going to win it, they're going to have to do it the hard way.
Still a long time to go to be playing a man down.
Harrison King picks that one up as it just goes forward. The advantage was already coming.
I think it's important for Loughborough not to get too excited now. Grind out the rest of the game, use that advantage and wear them down.
Well, 62 minutes gone. James Gallagher on 75 minutes. I'm going to ask you for the Yoti player of the match. So have a good think about it. And with these games in the balance, invariably it tends to be the kiss of death once the man of the match has been awarded. But you've got right and proper warning. Plenty of candidates though, some really strong performances from both sides. Here's Findlay, Tom Walsh.
Keep that on, and there could be a penalty coming. Yeah, there it is.
The advantage, so a free shot at it here for Loughborough. There's Cruz now trying to put some width on it. Here's Spencer. He's got Tate outside him. Oh, it's been snatched though, and Chester Duff.
Questionable kicking the ball away again there. I think he's lucky the penalty's further away.
We've got a full-time score from Bath, and Cardiff Met have turned it around. What a game at the STV, 29-26. Bath's winning run comes to an end at home.
I wouldn't wish a loss on anyone, but that just makes the league even more exciting.
Certainly does. And well said. Cardiff Met 29, Bath 26, and the Archers actually overtake Bath as a result of that.
On the 22, on the 22.
It's crazy to think that after 4 wins in a row, just one loss and you can drop straight back down the table.
Well, going into this, Bath led on 22 points. There were then 4 teams behind them on 21, and then Durham in 6th on 19. So again, important for both Loughborough and Beckett as Beckett interrupt the line out again.
Yeah, good shout.
Just throwing that man up at the front is causing absolute havoc.
I think they need to get away from Okafor. Once he gets thrown up in the air, it's a long way up.
Approaching the final 15 minutes. This time it's Loughborough attempting to hold up. The Beckett ball carrier's been ripped free as well.
That's then a knock on.
Oh, and unlucky from Max Hill. The hard work was done.
Good work first, then a knock on.
They'll be looking to attack this scrum though after the success last time.
There we are.
So here's the updated league table. As it stands, Hartpury level with Cardiff Met at the top. Bath remain in 3rd place. Exeter and Northumbria just behind them on 21. Of course, that is the Friday night fixture. And then Durham, Beckett, Trent, Loughborough and Cardiff. Only 13 points between 1st and 9th. It's crazy.
It could get even tighter if Loughborough turn this around.
Crouch! Bind!
Big scrum here.
Stable!
Loughborough looking to put the shove on. It starts to move. Which way's the referee's hand going to go?
Nothing, it'll be a reset, play on.
No, he's just going to let them play.
Yes, play.
I think that's where the scrum referee, Galley, could have come on there. I'm not sure I agree with the referee.
I think sometimes you've just got to keep the ball going as Stephen James keeps his composure.
Here we are.
I suppose for the viewers it's more interesting that the backs get the ball, but I'd like to see it stay in the scrum.
Let's go, please.
Oh, it's nice to know the old school still exists.
5.
Will they get it away from Okafor in this line out? He's stolen the last few.
Certainly has. And Dan Cuthbert's come on with a 19 jersey. They go straight to him and it's a perfect throw, but it's butterfingered.
I think they tried to do exactly what we were talking about and move it away from Okafor, and luckily not executed.
Thank you.
The referee called advantage over again. It wasn't the cleanest of strikes off the boot, and James Spencer gets around the first, gets dragged down by the second.
He always seems to get away from that first tackler, but Beckett have done well to wrap him up at the second attempt today.
Leave it.
Here's Cruz. Atta's switched wings.
Okafor defending on the width again as we've ID'd.
Just a little bit of tempo disappearing from this game, and that'll suit Leeds Beckett.
Lost. Good work, fellas.
Ripper Smith again, but look at this defence from Leeds Beckett, relentless in the contact zone as Finley has a go himself, quick hands, and Harrison King eventually takes it to ground just over the 10-metre line. But this lung-busting defence here from Beckett, has that been knocked on by Thompson Green? Yes, it has.
Yellow card to come as well.
2-on-1 overlap is a deliberate knock-on. So 2-on-1 overlap is a deliberate knock-on.
And not only that, Hayden Thompson Green gets sent to the bin. Again, I think he's unlucky there. There was no disputing the red card, but not a lot else that Thompson Green could have done there.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't make, whoa, you can't make changes. Go on.
I think he has gone for the ball, but if you go for the ball and you knock it on in these, when there's a 2-on-1 outside you, I do think the referee's within his rights to give a penalty and a yellow card.
Well, if Leeds Beckett can escape from this match with something, Kerry Wood with some thinking to do.
Thank you. Time's off, yes please.
I have to say Kerry Wood did celebrate quite extravagantly after beating us last year, so I would like to see him hang his head at the end of the game today.
2 fantastic matches last season actually. 13-8 to Leeds Beckett up in Leeds, and they managed to turn you over 19-20 down here as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. They scored a try right in the corner, and he enjoyed it right in front of us.
Loughborough with an advantage in the backs and the forwards now. Hayden Thompson Green coming in for Toby Francis in this match as Beckett intercept the line out again. That is probably a try-saving interception. Cruz looking to dish it in defence. Their low chop tackle from the replacement outside half. Leeds Beckett down to 13, but Conrad Cade certainly hasn't given up on this one. Again, Collier, the preferred kicking option. Cruz on the halfway line with the replacement scrum half Tom Walsh, so he'll replace the captain Findlay for the remaining 12 minutes as there's some dancing feet here from Spencer. Tries to get the backdoor offload away. Now the opportunity for Loughborough. Good ball, good position, Josh Lewis. Oh, but Chester turns it over. This is monster defence from Beckett. And that man, Chester Duff, has been at the heart of it a few times.
Use it!
They've done well to get out of their 22 and looks like they're going to exit now.
Back! Play on.
Connor Lloyd. Boxes, it's a good chase again. As
great feet from Cruz there. Show and go.
Oh, he's tried to go again. He's got the offload away this time. Tajuata pins back his ears, runs at Steph James, gets tackled by Harry Robinson. Here's the big man, Archie McPherson, bundled into touch. We know he likes to stretch his legs. How important is that tackle in the corner?
I'm struggling to contain my excitement in this game. It's really tough.
Twinkle toes from Cruz. He tried to throw that glory offload in the first half, didn't come off, managed to get it away there. Change at hooker here for Beckett, so Conrad Cade has been very accurate indeed.
He's going to get a lot of noise from those boys behind him. I think they'll be asking him to get it in now.
BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. That partisan crowd barking orders.
Telling him to get it in straight, no pressure.
Leeds Beckett. 13 men on the pitch. Thompson Green sent to the bin for a deliberate knock-on. Tom Williams given a straight red card for a stamp. Shorten line out. Well done, John Okafor. First job done.
Yes.
Well dealt with by Routledge there. There was a lot of noise coming from behind him. Fair play, hit it perfectly.
Out!
Well, if Leeds Beckett can get away with this, surely a draw will feel like a win. Because if you spend time away with 13 on the pitch, has that been turned over? Has Okafor got on that? Yes, he has. He's been a bit quieter in the second half, but moments like that could rescue it for the visitors, who are at the wrong end of the pitch from their perspective. Connor Lloyd again looks to put boot to ball. A few African violet jerseys come over. Oh, but Tajuata, under no pressure at all, has handed the initiative back to Leeds Beckett.
That could be costly, but Loughborough have the weight in scrum, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Hopefully Taju hasn't injured himself in the process.
Plenty of height and depth. It was a lovely box kick from Connor Lloyd, but under no pressure there. And with his body turned that way, it's amazing how he's managed to go forward. I think he took some leather from the Leeds Beckett chase as well.
That's twice from both sides it's happened. You speak to both, yeah? Yeah. No, George, have a chat with both benches, please.
I think both benches are getting a bit overexcited here, and the referee's asking them to calm down.
And the same with them. George.
Well, we've had the full-time result from 2 matches already today.
Thank you.
Hartbury hosting Durham, of course, as well. Hartbury were comfortably in the lead the last time we checked.
Knock on.
That is the scoreboard we're concentrating on here. Loughborough students 26, Leeds Beckett 26. Beckett as far ahead as 19-7. It was 19-14 at half-time. Beckett scored first. Inside 10 to go. It's all square. Change at scrum half then for Loughborough. Tom Walsh stood alongside Leeds Beckett captain Connor Lloyd. here comes the push from Loughborough. Needs to get out quickly and does. Nicely dealt with from Leeds Beckett. There's Charlie Venables, so dangerous.
Move 7!
And here is the chance for Leeds Beckett and Connor Lloyd to take the lead. Surely they have to go for the sticks here.
Wrong side, wrong side. Yeah.
Well, what a turn up for the BUCS this would be. Connor Lloyd, 92% off the tee last season, but he's left 5 points out there today. One missed penalty, one missed conversion, but here he has the chance to put Leeds Beckett into the lead. 13 men on the pitch. And this, James Gallagher, is a huge moment if you can bear to watch.
I am starting to struggle. It's getting tense now, and it means a lot to the boys out on the pitch, but it means a lot to us watching as well. A lot of pressure on this kick though. As you say, he's missed a few, but he has been calm and collected since then.
Certainly has.
This delay only builds the pressure as well.
Since going down, Leeds Beckett have been exemplary. They've disrupted the Loughborough line out. Connor Lloyd's kicked well from the base.
Yeah.
Little mistakes. Firstly, the knock on by Tajuata
On the line, yeah.
have brought us to this point here.
Thank you.
Well inside the last 10 minutes. Loughborough students 26, Leeds Beckett 26. Time's back on, and Connor Lloyd has the chance to put the visitors into the lead. What a huge moment. Well, we'll get a great view of this. We'll know from the moment it leaves the boot. Connor Lloyd for the lead. Gives them the lead. We are in for a barnstorming finish.
5 minutes to go. It's Leeds Beckett to take a 3-point advantage.
Connor Lloyd, as calm as you like. It's Loughborough 26, Leeds Beckett 29. Leeds
14.
Beckett, since going down to 13, have taken a 3-0 lead.
9.
And some nervous faces in the crowd there. A nervous face to my right as well. James Gallagher on co-coms today.
I believe the boys can do it. I've got faith in them.
Use.
Well, our clock has been adjusted.
That's a relief.
But again, Leeds Beckett in possession. Austin Wallace rushing up there. Was he offside? No, says the referee, and he makes the tackle on Stefan James. Leeds Beckett queuing up to carry the ball. For a second, that might have been lost forward. The referee in an excellent position.
No, don't!
Being told not to counter up there.
Now James puts boot to ball this time. That left foot, right foot combination, Steph James and Harry Collier, been excellent for Leeds Beckett in terms of relieving the pressure. It's Johnny Kay on, wearing number 23 on the right wing for Leeds Beckett. Big John Okafor coming out of the line, but he's dealt with by Austin Wallace, who needs to not get isolated here. Johnny Kay attempting the turnover.
Interesting haircut from Johnny Kay there.
You've got to be a ballsy guy to have a lid like that.
Yeah,
Ripper Smith with the hands in the middle of the park, 7 on 7 as Gulliver makes the tackle. Here's Max Hill, Harrison King. Big 70 odd minutes from King. Oh, has that gone forward?
Advantage green.
Well, they could have gone backwards, but it's advantage green, and Loughborough their own worst enemies here.
Advantage over.
Well, you suggested that conditioning might be on Loughborough's side, but the fitness of this Beckett pack, the defensive lift, has been savage. But now could it break up out of the back door? Are there numbers here for Loughborough? Here's Tate, shifts inside.
I think it's important to note the early changes Loughborough had to make. It could have had an impact on their conditioning. Not as much energy coming off the bench late in the game.
Well, here they are on the 22. Osman Demon takes them inside the 22. They were clinical here in the first half. Now they need it in the second. Fergus Geary pins his ears back. Johnny Kay with the tackle, and Tom Collins off the bench for Beckett brings him down. Penalty advantage here, and a huge decision should they need it. Picking and going, a free go at it. Josh Lewis is in there, but they need him in the middle of the park. Still penalty advantage, could be a fresh advantage. Here's Tom Walsh.
Questionable use of arms there in that tackle.
Referee's happy enough. Desperate stuff here from both teams. Is Johnny Teague offside? No, says the referee. Here's Cruz. Is there space out wide? Yes, there is! Onto the back door, stunning offload and finished in the corner.
Crowd going wild, great backs move. I personally am not a big fan of missed passes. To see it go straight through the hands there, brilliantly executed, and Sam Roberts in the corner.
Sam Roberts. Is that the winning score? Leeds Beckett will be back up to 14 very shortly. And finally, some composure from the hosts. Loughborough Students 31, Leeds Beckett 29.
Another massive kick here takes Leeds Beckett out of penalty range, and we know that Connor Lloyd can slot it from anywhere in Loughborough's half, so massive kick.
Yeah, correct.
Sam Roberts having a part to play off the bench again. He was the man with the assist for the replacement scrum half, Tom Walsh. That fantastic score against Trent. This time he dots down himself. Josh Lewis. 3 from 4 off the tee. .35 BUCS Super Rugby points this season going into today. He's chipped it wide. Oh, this one's still in the balance. What an incredible match. Let's take another look at this. Again, the overlap's going to be there. They've got a 2-man advantage.
I've got him returning. The one on the other one. Okay.
What about that offload, though? James Spencer.
Yeah, he's had a great game. Definitely in contention for the man of the match, but he's put us away there. I don't think my heart can take this anymore, Dave. This is really tough.
Well, another incredible match, BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. We'll give it another couple of minutes before we ask you for that man of the match. Clean take, important clean take as well, Archie McPherson. I think he's done well in the second row today. We've seen him at blindside flanker a few times, but looks comfortable in the engine room.
Yeah, I think it was highlighted on the podcast how good his hands are, and he's played excellently.
Leeds Beckett need one final throw of the dice. That's a loose pass. Which way's that going to bounce? Pounced upon by Aaron Tate. Possession so important now. It's a massive moment as Ripper Smith perhaps didn't expect him to get 80 minutes this evening.
No, fitness coming back from an injury is always difficult, but he's been class.
Cruz drives it into the 22.
Great kick.
That kick turns Dante van der Merwe. Here's Stephen James, has he got a little bit of magic that can snatch this one from the fire for Leeds Beckett, who since going down players have been exemplary. But eventually it's a numbers game. Loughborough have got their noses back in front. Here's Okafor, 2 tries in the first half. Could have put Beckett in control. Got a penalty here.
This might be an 80 minutes from Sam Graham's law as well, which I can tell you as a prop is not easy to do, and there's been a lot of scrums today as well.
Well, we're seeing it less and less in the game. When you're involved from the first whistle, how long are you expecting to play as we take another look at this 5th try for Loughborough Students?
I think it depends on the player. Like, I know in BUCS you can rotate, so for me personally it's quite good. And you saw it in the game against Exeter where I came off at half-time and then came back on with fresh legs again at the end. But Slaw is a convert from back row to front row, so naturally quite fit.
Johnny Teague secures it for Leeds Beckett. Surely the last chance for them. Next time the ball goes dead, we're going to need a man of the match, so get your thinking cap on as Leeds Beckett come forward here. Surely any score will be the ball game. Teague has it at the back. And they've got the penalty. Is this the chance to win it? It's a long way out. If he kicks it from here, he deserves the win.
Yeah, it could be tough from here. It's well over 50 metres.
Well, as the ball goes to the corner. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed touch. What an opportunity. Gone begging. Josh Lewis slices one into touch. Both teams on their nerves, but it is now time for the Yoti man of the match.
I mean, it could have gone any way. It could be that Tom Williams is actually the man who's decided the outcome of the match, but I think you can't look past Harrison King scoring a hat-trick, returning to BUCS Super Rugby. Excellent game from him today, working around the park, and 80 minutes again in the front row.
There he is, Harrison King, 2 on his back, 3 over the whitewash. And could he be the difference?
6!
Or have Leeds Beckett and Big John Okafor got one last sting in the tail?
Yeah,
Max Hill was offside there. The referee gave him ample opportunity to get out of the way, and he did. Our clock has 30 seconds remaining on it. The clock in the stadium has stopped. And there's JD J, an absolute monster of a ball carrier. And Loughborough have some defending to do. They're inside their own 22, and this would be gargantuan for Leeds Beckett in the grand scheme of things. But they've still got 20 metres to go. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Our clock's gone red. There's Thompson Green back on the pitch after his yellow card.
I can't watch.
Will we see a drop goal winner here? Is anyone in the pocket? Not yet. Leeds Beckett continuing to drive forward.
Don't dumb it.
James Gallagher has his head in his hands, so I'm going to take you through to full time here. Leeds Beckett behind on the scoreboard, but in the ascendancy here. Loughborough was susceptible around the fringes in the first half, but they're holding strong here. Connor Lloyd on the ball. There's the attempt at the drop goal. Up it goes. Wide it goes. Hands on the head from Stephen James. And is that the ball game? 30 seconds to go, says the referee.
30 seconds.
Well, is there a sting in the tail? It wasn't the cleanest of passes to James. He got plenty of loft on it. I thought I was going to have to perform CPR on James Gallagher there as he clutched his chest. But there's 30 seconds of this one remaining. Loughborough students 31, Leeds Beckett University 29. And well, if this isn't the match of the season, then we are in for some even bigger thrillers. Last chance for Leeds Beckett. Johnny Kay waits, but he's ignored. Half a tackle there. Aaron Tate just about managing to hold on. Beckett 40 metres from the line, still going through the big men. Excellent tackle from Ripper Smith. He must have been in contention for the man of the match were it not for Harrison King's 3 tries. Will Ratledge with the carry. Is there another opportunity for the drop goal here for Beckett, or can Loughborough force the mistake? Keep your eye on Steph James. He's a long way out at the moment.
Thank you.
But if there's a penalty now, it is within kicking distance for Connor Lloyd. 2 minutes of the clock in the red from our count. There's the cut inside from Venables. Always beats the first man, but Ripper Smith gets something on him. Max Hill still there at the breakdown, but Will Routledge has been very busy since coming on. Where's the 16 jersey? And loves the carry. Watch John Okafor as well. It's been stripped, it's gone forward.
Get it off. Get it off.
Needs to go out.
Get it off.
It's been put out by Tom Walsh, and Loughborough have snuck home. Well, they've got the second victory of the season. They remain undefeated here in the East Midlands, but boy oh boy did they make it hard work. Leeds Beckett led 26-14. Loughborough crept back in, great work through the forwards. Tom Williams disgraced himself, but the remaining players on the paddock dug in. They'll feel desperately unlucky, but Loughborough students get the bonus point win. They've defeated Leeds Beckett 31-29 in a BUCS Super Rugby Classic.
Amazing game of rugby to watch it. Got difficult for me towards the end, but it was brilliant. And the important thing for the league table is Leeds Beckett come away with 2 points today as well.
Very important indeed. So Loughborough students move up to 16 points. Leeds Beckett go from 11 to 13, and they get ever closer to that breakaway pack at the top of the tree. but devastation from Leeds Beckett. Even though they went down to 14, then to 13, they had their opportunities there.
They are the architects of their own downfall, though, really, with that poor discipline. So they're going to have to look at themselves there.
Well, let's have a look at the tries. 9 in total. This was Chester Duff at the start of the second half. And when Johnny Teague went over there, Leeds Beckett must have been thinking today's our day.
Yeah, I think they really would have been, but this game just ebbed and flowed, went back and forth, and the real turning point probably was the cards. That's what gave the momentum finally to Loughborough.
Brilliant work from Charlie Venables, though, as you pointed out during the game, to get up and find that pass. He was a standout performer, the full-back for Leeds Beckett today. Yeah,
of course. I think from kick chase, he caused Loughborough so many problems. Returning those kicks, I mean, we said that a good kick is made by its chase, but it was all about how he attacked the line.
Well, here was John Okafor trying to rejoin play. But from a front rower's perspective, the way that Loughborough got back into the game must have pleased you immensely.
Yeah, 100%. I think they fronted up massively. We were worried at the start about the Loughborough scrum, but they've come back, and like I said early on, if you find out what's working and what's not in the scrum, it can make all the difference later in the game.
Well, that was Harrison King's second try of the match. That was converted to make it 21-26. And it was a very similar story to make it 26 all as well. Of course, those driving lineouts, they play such a massive part, but the execution isn't as easy as these lads make it look.
No, it's really not. It's something you work on massively in training, and it might be the beauty of having our national one side. They're used to playing against men, so when we're mauling against them, we really do come up against it.
Well, here was the winning score. Connor Lloyd thought he'd snatched it for Leeds Beckett, but eventually there was composure. I don't think the defender there, it was Harry Robinson, had any choice other than to try and go for the man.
No, there's really nothing you can do as defender there. I think he's probably made the right decision because he's nearly forced a mistake here, but he's unlucky. He is just an architect of a massive overlap naturally, with there being 14 men on the pitch.
Well, we are going to be catching up with the man of the match as well as the winning coach. Of course, we're bringing you 2 BUCS Super Rugby matches this week. Team Northumbria against Exeter is the 4 o'clock kickoff on Friday. Full time here, Loughborough Students 31, Leeds Beckett 29. Stick with us for the post-match interviews, but in the meantime, enjoy some highlights from last week's live match.
Just stopping it in its tracks, falling short of the crossbar, and Met get a let off and a chance to launch it downfield, which they do to the man who's just kicked. And Julie knocks on.
Yeah, it's a great target platform now for Cardiff Met. Midfield scrum options both sides, so hopefully now they can kind of capitalise here and maybe either score or get some go forward.
So rather ambitious, going to try and collect the ball there on the half volley after Harry Johnson had stung it low through the air, taking the wind. Kipper Fawcett, a couple of good touches, a couple of ones to forget in this opening salvos between the two sides, and this is prime time attacking platform for the Archers. As Matt Marsh puts the ball in, it's not a clean hook. Harvey Scott helps it along, and it's picked up from the back from Dan Thurston, the Bristol Academy man. In for his injured captain Aled Ward, and in for Will Gibson, but it's a penalty going back to the scrum, it looks like.
Claps on this side, okay?
And he bisects the post on this occasion, as you hear the crowd erupt. As Alex said, very, very noisy when the Archers are in the ascendancy.
All game at the moment.
A little bit static there from McJewell, but he starts to get some momentum through his big men once again. Markham, this time with the carry. Cochrane again with the tackle. His defence has been impressive. And that's one hell of a line by Chris Johnson. But the door is slammed shut. And Kipper Fawcett has the chance to level the game at the death before the whistle. And he strikes it straight and true. Yeah, Alex Key justifiably stoked by his team's first half performance. His biggest concern is Tam being washed away by this driving rain here tonight in Cardiff, I think, because his team are doing him proud. But they're defending at the moment as Cardiff Met bring the ball out of the scrum, and Jack Wright does what he does best, and he barges through and finds support in the shape of Luke Loughborough, who will not be stopped as he slides in and lights up Kincoid.
Yeah, that's a great initial carry by Jack Wright again. I think, just keeping it tight and getting over the gain line just allows you opportunities to kind of get that off the shoulder offload, and a great support line by Luke Northmore and a great finish.
For accuracy slightly off as we get another chance to see this bulldozing run, and Northmore just took one step that was too hot for Saul Melvin Farr. As I'm reminded by my producer in my ear that the boys on the camera stands are having a much tougher time of it than myself. Sterling work from the boys. Chris Johnson, a man who does the hard work, but he does the flashy stuff with the crucial tries. Let's see that again. It was a low ball that Benjamin struggled to pick up. Nothing malicious, but probably
timing issue, I'd say. Probably could have pulled out, but in my book, maybe pretty harsh.
Gosh, and anything that's going to put a player's safety in danger is going to be punished.
Yeah, go!
Unless you're Owen Farrell, of course. Which I felt was a legitimate hit, but you might disagree there, Aled. As the kick is sent long just into the 22. Cardiff Met take it to a line out, and they are on the drive. Laurie Essenhigh is screaming at his boys, slapping the jersey, and they've got real momentum now. It's going to be unstoppable momentum as they thunder across the line, and the referee sends his arm into the air. To wild celebrations from the Archer Ultras. And Cardiff Met have their second try of the evening, and they lead Durham 13 points to 3 with a kick to come and only 20 minutes to go. And the Durham line out, the line out that has been faltering all night, goes into the hands of the Archers, which finds its way into the hands of Laurie Essenhigh, who boots it triumphantly into the stands, and it signals the end of this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti, where it's the Archers who are on target. Cardiff Met 15, Durham 6.
A real war of attrition in Cardiff last week, and a very different one here in the East Midlands this week. Loughborough with the bonus point victory. 2 bonus points for Leeds Beckett, but they're on the losing side. 31-29 the full score. Nathan Smith, that was a thriller for the neutral, but I imagine your heart was racing out of time towards the end of that one.
Yeah, it was just a classic BSR game where it's just fast and furious. Loads of mistakes by both teams, which leads to loads of chances to score, big score lines. Yeah, it was good. It's good game for the neutral, I'd say. I think maybe for coaches it was a little bit tough. Yeah.
Well, Ripper Smith got you off to a fantastic start, but the response from Leeds Beckett was superb. I think you realised you were in a game pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think like the attrition Leeds Beckett brought in the first half was really good. I don't think we matched it. I thought they were the better side first half, and we had to have a look at ourselves at half time and find some intent in the tackle, which we did. I thought we'd come out and made a real reaction in the second half, so it's good to see.
Well, tonight seemed like one of the games where you coaches really earned your money, because the set piece wasn't going particularly well. You made the changes and the scrum shored up. A couple of changes in the back line as well, and Roberts ended up getting the winning score. Nice when the decisions go right.
Yeah, and it's good because there'll be a lot of disappointed. There'll be 2 disappointed lads that came on, but ultimately we've seen why. It's rugby's horses for courses. Sometimes you've got to change it when the picture changes, scrum times or what they're showing in defensively. But the lads who came on and the lads that came off are all a big part of it. So it's just a good night.
I think your opponents deserve a huge amount of credit this evening, though, to go down to 14, then to go down to 13, and to still nearly come away with a win. That's big from them.
Oh yeah, they've shown a lot of heart to stay in the game at 13 men. I think sometimes when they go down to 14, you've got 15. It's sort of like you feel like you're going to score. You feel like you should score, but you've still got to earn the score, and obviously they're working hard. So Beckett did really well, you know. Ultimately, it probably should have been a draw, really, but it wasn't.
Well, Gally was on co-coms when the drop goal attempt went up. He couldn't look. Where were you looking when it came off the boot?
Well, to be fair, I thought it'd gone over. It went our way tonight. It probably won't down the line. You know, we got our bit of luck tonight, I'd say.
There were a couple of those tonight, actually, because Connor Lloyd had the penalty in the first half. The sticks just behind us. I thought that first one went over as well. Margins.
Well, yeah. It's like I say, I think we've just got the rub of the green a bit tonight, and you know, we might have used our luck up a little bit, but we've certainly worked hard to get into the right areas of the pitch to create the chances to be luckier. Yeah.
Well, very shortly we're going to award the man of the match to. He's just standing off screen. Stay there for the time being, because who else impressed you this evening?
Yeah, so obviously man of the match Harrison's had a really good game, but Austin Wallace, who came on, I thought had a real good dig. We were missing that sort of intensity, and he brought that in the tackle, and he really challenged them at the breakdown. If you challenge them at the breakdown, they're having to commit more numbers, and obviously it's making more holes in the defensive line. So he had a big part, and obviously when Osman came on as well, he really showed the scrum up, and we could have a dig there.
Well, I will take this microphone, and you can bring the Yoti Man of the Match medal out and present it to Harrison King, back in the BUCS Super Rugby side, and a hat trick. Thank you very much, Nathan. Pleasure as always. Go on, put it round your neck.
Thank you very much.
Superb performance. You're back in the BUCS Super Rugby side, and what a match to come back into.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Like, the crowd that came down was absolutely amazing, and the boys, like, every time I looked up at the scoreboard, another team was in front. It was intense the whole way through, so just happy to get the result, really.
The thing that struck me was not just the physicality, but the pace of the match as well.
Yeah.
Surely you're going to feel that 80 minutes tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to wake up tomorrow sore getting out of bed, but yeah, no, all the boys put it in. Like, we all stuck in together. We worked as a team, and you know, yeah, some decisions went our way today, but you know, it could go differently on another day. Luckily, we just come out with the result, and it was good.
Well, you're one of the players who featured in BUCS Super Rugby and National 1. There were just no easy weeks for you in either league. How did you get through it? You've got a smile on your face.
Yeah, well, we all just try and stay behind each other. Like, training week's tough, but you know, the camaraderie we've got, like, in the performance squad, like, everyone gets behind each other, and you know, there's never really a dull moment around.
Hat-trick hero?
Yeah, just about. I mean, most of the tries were you know, pre-planned moves by the forwards, so forwards tries, really, you know, squad tries, but yeah, I'll take it.
The first one, though, when you got over in the first half, that lovely short ball down the blind side, when those training moves come off,
it's
special
lovely.
ones.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's not often a hooker gets in the space and has an easy run in for the try line, so yeah, it was good to finish off.
Well, congratulations, you are the man of the match, and we look forward to you joining us again on the BUCS Super Rugby scene. Enjoy that medal.
Yeah,
try not to lose it tonight, and hopefully you don't get too much punishment for that hat trick, but well played. Gally, shake his hand and come and close the show with us. I honestly thought that I was going to have to perform some kind of emergency CPR or heart resuscitation on you towards the end of that one. Stressful for a club chairman, but another incredible advert for BUCS Super Rugby.
Yeah, I mean, if you need any more reason to watch BUCS Super Rugby, then tonight's the night. But as you say, my heart's still racing. It was an incredible game. I thought that drop goal went over, but and obviously their penalty earlier at the start that we thought might have gone over. But decisions went both ways. I mean, we thought Hilly's try was a try, so I thought in the end it's just a great game of rugby. There's not much more you can say.
Certainly was. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. James Gallagher, it's been a pleasure, and congratulations Loughborough students. They remain undefeated at home and they go above Leeds Beckett in the table, but trust me, the men from Yorkshire will be back. We'll be back too, a 4 p.m. kickoff on Friday up at Northumbria as they host Exeter. Join us then, and also don't forget to join us on the BUCS Stops Here podcast. Thanks to BUCS Super Rugby, thanks to Yoti, congratulations to Loughborough, and thank you for joining us. We look forward to speaking to you again on Friday. Goodbye.
It was so much easier easier because I had already set up from the app about 3 months ago actually when it first came to the island.
I really like how simple it was to use.
It's the kind of convenience we want in this holidays that we live in.
Like, you don't really want to carry your passport around on night out, you're always going to have a phone on you.
The convenience to be able to go up and get my phone and just scan a thing.
It's just easy, you have all your stuff in one place.
And it makes life a lot easier when you're trying to prove your age and quite versatile as well.